Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, today we had two more leaks on the Hydra bosses' heads and what each head is gonna be doing when the new encounter comes. So we pretty much know that it's gonna come before the end of the year. It's pretty much a surprise for us content creators because we didn't expect it before the end of this year. Like we thought it was gonna be 2022 for it to come maybe next summer or something. But it's been a ton of fun seeing all these leaks, okay? So the number one leak was, of course, through the Ash with Cyrilla interview, and then we had the head of Torment. Then we had another leak with Scratch actually getting a comment on his YouTube video by the Hydra head of Mischief, and each one of the heads does different things. We'll go into that in a bit. And then we had Scratch also finding this. It's actually an Instagram page of Hydra head of Suffering. So this one also has its skills here in the description of each photo. So that's going to be cool going through all of these. But guys, from what we know so far, and if we go back a little bit to the story of the Hydra, so Lernean Hydra, Lernea Hydra in Greek. So the way that this boss might be is that the heads will keep reviving whenever they are killed. So that's the mythology behind the Hydra. So when Hercules tried to beat Hydra, he actually tried to, sever the heads, and he couldn't because they would grow back. And in some versions of the story, they would grow back twice. So for every one that he killed, two would grow back up. But I don't think this is going to happen for the boss. I think, though, that the boss's heads will be coming back up whenever they are killed. I don't know the timing behind it and if it's going to be a cooldown where one of the heads will be summoning the other heads. So from other leaks that we had, and also from the roadmap which we had, almost 2 years ago, guys, this was the roadmap that was planned by Plarium, and we actually had this picture right here which showed let me just go and find it. It showed 4 heads. So it totally goes, in that sense that we'll have 4 heads to fight during this clan boss encounter. So the 4 heads will have their own health bars, and then the total health bar for the boss will be different. If this is the case, then it will be a very fun encounter. And something that I don't think the other content creators picked up is that these heads will be reviving in a constant way. I'm not sure on how that's going to work, because when you look at their skills, other than being crazy hard, so the head of Torment will be applying fear, and true fear will be attacking, and the damage will be increasing based on each debuff the enemy will be under. And then there's a ton of crazy passives that these heads have. So this head of Torment will not receive too much damage from poisons. The max HP attacks will not do a lot of damage, so 10%. The way that the Doom Tower bosses work and the 21 to 25 dungeons work. And then when attacked by enemies not under Veil or Perfect Veil boss, place a True Fear debuff on them. So I don't know if we will all just need Veil or Perfect Veil buffs in general when going into the boss encounter. It's gonna be insane. There's also the basic leak of the Petrification debuff, which will exist into the game by the time the boss comes, or maybe later. But it certainly is the fact that the heads will be immune to this. And the thing that I saw that I don't think the other content creators noticed is that the heads say this whenever this head is decapitated. So it doesn't say when this head is decapitated. It might be just the wording of it, but when they say whenever, it means, well, at least in my mind, that this head will be keep reviving. So it might be that these heads have a low amount of health. You'll take them out in a specific rotation, or just whenever you take them out. You'll gain that specific advantage when you do kill them. So when you kill this head, you get removed all the other fear and true fear debuffs from you. And then you also place a perfect veil buff on your 2 champions at a random choice. So this will be one part of the head of the Torment. But when you go to the head of Mischief, okay? So this YouTube page had this one, all right? But guys, if you look at this skill, so the A1 attacks the enemy with the most buffs, steals all buffs from the target, and steals 50% of the target's territory. This will be insanely hard. Spoils of Mischief applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this head and placing them on all heads. Changes the duration of all spread buffs to 2 turns. So another crazy thing in terms of the buffing that will happen. And then this passive, right, has a 75% chance of redirecting an enemy attack into another random head. Will not occur if this head is under a hex debuff. So hex will be strong against this specific head. Decreases damage all Hydra heads take from AoE attacks by 10%. And then the other basic passives for, you know, the way that the damage is going to work. It doesn't say anything about poisons, but it does say damage taken in one tick from HP burn debuffs cannot exceed 20,000 HP. And although it does say to be continued, which is a bit weird, so it might not be finalized yet. This passive fully depletes the turn meters of all Hydra heads whenever this head is decapitated. So I think this is the key in order to beat this this encounter and have a solid team, is beating this specific head, because it says the whenever part. So in my mind is that you'll need to keep on killing this head in order to not let the other heads take a turn, and if they take a turn, they'll take you out. Okay, so once you find a rotation that works and you keep taking this head out, then basically all the heads will never take a turn. We don't know their real speed, so we don't know how the speed tuning is going to work, but in my mind is that you need to be killing this head first. And it's possible that this will be an insane encounter. Lots of players will be disappointed and not know what they're gonna do with the game, but just leave it some time. And then finally we have this head here, the Hydra head of suffering. So I don't know how this is gonna work, but the skills are like this. So whenever you click on one of the images, you see the skills. I also put them here in a nice Word document for us to find it easier to read. Okay, so the A1 attacks all enemies, plays a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. This debuff cannot be resisted and will not place the weaken debuff on enemies with strengthened buffs. So strengthening is going to be good. So strengthen, perfect veil, there's not many champions that apply both, so you're going to have some synergy. Plays a shield buff, decapitation effect, plays a shield buff on all enemies champions for 2 turns, equal to 30% of their max HP whenever this head is decapitated. So whenever you kill this, you get a nice shield, you protect your allies. Thirst of Pain is the A2, plays a 50% ally protection buff on all heads except this one for 2 turns. So when you hit the other head, this one's going to take damage. Then plays a 30% reflect damage buff on this head for 2 turns. Also plays a provoke debuff for 1 turn on the enemy with the highest critical damage. So yeah, I don't know if this is good, because this head is supposed to be the protector and it's going to be getting hit by your strongest hitter on purpose. So I guess that's in a way for you to forcibly direct the attention to this specific head by your high critical damage dealer. By the way, I think Draco is going to be good in this one, because he does the surplus damage, right, with his A1. So when he kills one head, his surplus damage will go to the other heads, right? That's going to be nice. Maybe that's why they nerfed it, because it used to crit, I think. And now they stopped it from critting, or it used to do way more damage, triple damage. Definitely changed something, but I don't have Draco, so I don't remember. Attacks one enemy, plays a Pain Link debuff for 3 turns, then grants this head an extra turn. So the Pain Link debuff, I'm not sure what this is. So it might be something like the opposite of the Ally Protect, but it's going to be a debuff on our team. We're not sure yet what this does. And then these passive increase the resist of all Hydra heads by 50. So definitely the Hydra heads will have accuracy. So might be bound to accuracy and resist, unlike what the clan boss is. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go. So if we go in there with high resist and high accuracy, we might be able to resist the debuffs that the boss will be applying. I don't think it's gonna work this way. I think it just means that we'll need to have more accuracy for us to apply our debuffs. Decrease the damage all Hydra heads take from AoE attacks by 30%. Decrease the damage taken from poison debuffs by 90%. Damage from skills that scale based on enemy max HP. This is the usual. And damage taken from reflected damage, War Master and Giant Slayer cannot exceed 50,000 per attack. And then of course, the boss is going to be immune to a ton of stuff. Place a shield buff on all enemy champions for 2 turns, equal to 30% of their max HP whenever this head is decapitated. So yeah, we're going to have a shield from this one, and then a shield, no, fully depletion from this one. we're gonna get a shield from this one, and then this one will be the one that removes the fear. So yeah, these are the skills of the bosses. What you guys think? I think it's gonna be a ton of fun encounter. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a fourth head, if we're gonna get the information about the fourth head. We are searching, guys. We are searching all over the social media to try and find that fourth head and see what we can actually discover. But it's a ton of fun theory crafting on what the boss is gonna be and how we're gonna beat this. But honestly, until we actually start playing, see the base speeds, and of course this boss, well, I'm not saying of course, but I'm guessing this boss will have an easy, hard, brutal difficulty and so on. I'm guessing. We don't know yet. If it's just gonna be an ultra nightmare encounter, that would be kind of bad for newer players, I would say. But it's a ton of fun reading through this and just theory crafting. I really hope that this boss is something amazing and it gives us something new and fun to put our champions in there and try and find the way out of this one. By the way, I wonder what the rewards are gonna be. If it's just gonna be the same as the clown boss, it's gonna be boring. I wanna see champion fragments in the boss loot table. That's it for this video. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. I'll post another one if we find the other head. See you guys soon. See ya.